Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan, Steve Malicious here, and I wanted to take a few moments to go over how to choose a budget smartphone, because on this channel, we love budget devices. I spend a lot of time on Amazon looking for new devices to review on this channel and reading through the reviews of some of those devices on Amazon. It really breaks my heart. The experiences that people are having being displeased with their purchase, and all things that I think could be avoidable. So sit back, relax, let Uncle Steve take care of you for a few minutes. If you're new here, but if you've been here before and you're loving all the tech stuff, go ahead and tussle that subscribe button. It certainly means a lot to me. Thank you to all the new subscribers, well up over 3,700 as of the taping of this video. So the first thing you have to talk about is budget. If your budget is over 150 US dollars, then we could keep going. We could honestly think about a new device, and I think we could get you something that is absolutely usable and that you'll enjoy. If you're under $100, I gotta be honest, you should get comfortable with Amazon Renewed, get something through there. eBay, if you could get a good deal on a smartphone from 2-3 years ago, a flagship, get yourself a Pixel 2 XL, get yourself an LG G7, and you're done. That's gonna be the best value for your money under $100. 130, 140, 150. We could start having a conversation about a new device. First thing, carrier. If you're on AT&T, if you're on Verizon, if you're on T-Mobile, they're not doing anything for you in the budget segment. I can promise you that. They're really not. They don't offer a whole lot of deals on devices in that range. Now, talk with friends, talk with people who have used it before. Make sure in your area that you're going to get good coverage. But the Metro PCSs of the world, the Boost Mobiles of the world do offer great deals to entice you to come over on budget smartphones. Last year, the Moto G Stylus, I think Boost Mobile, or it might have been Metro PCS, was offering this for like $150. Even this year, if you could get a G Stylus, even the one from last year, the 2020 version, in the $150 range, absolutely take it, run, don't ask questions, understand that you have job well done, and you're all set to go for a few years to come. So go on, look at your carrier website, see if there are other deals around that could be had that will help you a bit more. When it comes to specs, I've seen devices with MediaTeks, Snapdragon 600s. I've seen them run well, and I've seen them run poorly. And to me, the determining factor always comes down to RAM. I see these devices for sale on Amazon running Snapdragon 200 mobile processors, 1 gig of RAM, 2 gigs of RAM, and the horror stories of people they're being input lag, just to be able to text. It makes a difference, I promise you. And even 3 is pushing it. And this is where it gets to where you could kind of make a decision, because the LG Stylo 6, which a lot of people liked, went for a 1080p display. That's the spec that they choose to up, but only 3 gigs of RAM. Whereas something like this blue here, the G91, they went with a 720p display, but 4 gigs of RAM. And to me, that's a trade-off I'm going to make every single day. And you might look at your RAM management and say, oh, I don't use more than 2 gigs of RAM. I don't use more than 3 gigs of RAM. Why would I need that? I'll go for the display. The system uses it anyway. Even if it's not taken up by programs, the system will start caching things like your home screen, like your menus, like your text, all that other stuff to provide a smooth experience. If you go for 1, 2, or even 3 gigs of RAM at this point in 2021, that operating system is going to be super aggressive in crashing apps down in order to preserve the RAM that it has. Very aggressive. So you don't want that. You can, for $140, $150, get a device with 4 gigs of RAM. And I really think that's the key. That's what make or breaks a budget device, the RAM. You could have the same spec on a device with 2 gigs of RAM and 4 gigs of RAM, and the 2 gig of RAM one will be unusable. Not provide a good experience and be a waste of your money. So when you're making a determining factor, when you look at it, always get the most RAM on a budget smartphone you can afford. And don't get trapped by battery life. These outlandish numbers on battery life. 6,000 milliamp hour battery. It doesn't matter. Screen on time doesn't matter if the time spent using the screen stinks. if it's barely usable. I could promise you, anything over 4,000 milliamp hours at this point, running lower end processors, budget processors, 720p displays, they're all lasting 2+ days. All of them. So don't get sucked in by 5,500, 6,000 in the budget price range, because it's just not worth what they're charging you for the specs that they're taking away. The Nokia 5.3 is great if you could get it for 170, 180, somewhere around there. The Moto G styluses are always great deals. The Moto Powers as well, if you could get them cheap enough through a carrier deal, great deals there. There are some excellent deals out there. But then I see stuff like the Nokia 1.3 or 2.3. That $90, $100, $130 is better spent on the used market, or spend an extra $20. Pick yourself up a blue G91. Don't get trapped where you're writing an awful review about how disappointed you are and how awful it is that you can't even type because there's lag input, or you can't install WhatsApp because there's issues, or whatever else it happens to be. The other big thing is operating system that is running. Make sure it's running a decently clean version of Android. Okay, Android 1 preferably. I would skip Android Go. I think that gets a little too cheap. But it's definitely not a lot of bloatware, nothing like that. Keep the operating system running clean. And with budget devices as well, make sure it's 4G LTE, especially here in the United States, because you got a device, and even though it might say 4G LTE, make sure it's for data and whatever they call it, HD voice or voice over LTE, whatever the phone happens to call it. Make sure it's set for your carrier so you could use it for years to come, because come next year, the ones that are 4G for data but 3G for voice, a lot of carriers, they're just not going to work. I'm active in the comment section. Any questions on devices that you might be looking at, leave it down below. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-alicious day.